son was behind. When I came home, he was in kindergarten, he was going to school in Concord. I had to drive out here to the Bay Area, drop him off, pick him up, getting home at 8 o'clock at night. And it was hard because he couldn't distinguish letters, he couldn't sound certain letters, he couldn't put a letter to the sound. You know, his ABCs, he wasn't getting them right. But the program that he had in Concord was helping. And this was devastating for me. You know, it was hard. I wouldn't see my son on a daily basis, you know, but the day I came home, I got custody of him. So I moved him to school in San Francisco. I live in the East Bay, interdistrict transfer, because of my work situation. This program came about, and I already had a close relationship with the teacher. You know, I talked to John Muir, got him a therapist, got him a reading teacher, which they took him out of math class, math time, to make sure that he got caught up with his reading, because you need reading. You know, that's the main thing that you need in kindergarten, first grade. You know, to develop all the math skills to be able to comprehend everything else. So it was hours upon hours of trying to teach him, and it was hard for me, you know, because I hadn't spent as much time with my son. But it was a bonding experience also. So with the handouts and having the tablet, it takes you step by step. Securing the internet connection, which I didn't do. However, I have my hotspot. Opening the apps. First thing was the Mayan, you know. Then it was certain games for math. Access to websites that are really kid friendly. You know, that you don't have to pay for. National Geographic. My son is infatuated with sharks. So with the Mayan app, with the Mayan app, you have access to a variety of books. I don't have the time to take my son to the library. I'm an active parent, you know what I mean? I don't neglect my son at all. You know, it's drop him off at school, pick him up, stay at school for an hour, 45 minutes, make sure he gets his homework done, because he's in an after-school program. I'm a single father, you know, so I knew what I had to do as a father, but this program, it helped me, it simplified it for me, you know, because I can spend the time and have faith that he was going to do it, because once he started reading, once he started sounding things out, once he started clicking on the page to press play to make sure that he got the word, it became a game to him, you know, and he started liking it. You know, he knows how to read very well right now. He's proud of himself. You know, it's something that he likes to do. Dad, turn on your Wi-Fi, turn on your hotspot. You know, so it's like, okay, you know, so during our commute, you know, we work long, I work long hours, you know, sometimes I don't work. But, you know, I'll stay in San Francisco, he'll get on his tablet and he'll do some of the games, he'll do some of the reading on our commute back to Oakland. You know, and it gives me time to help him with his homework once we get home, get dinner, we hop in the shower, and you know, sometimes we go to sleep a little later, but this is something that he wants to do. You know, this isn't, he looked at education, oh, man, it's reading time. You know, and it was hard for him, you know, and seeing your son feel helpless. You know, it's already bad enough that he had secondary effects to my abandonment. You know what I mean? All parents, you know. I could have easily bought the tablet, but it wouldn't have came with this. You know, and one thing that I told my son, I go, look, you're not, Dad, the first day, Dad, I'm getting a free iPad, I'm getting a free iPad, I'll go to the class, you know. I came home, I go, they're not giving free iPads away. They're not giving free iPads away. You know, you have to go. I have to go. I have to miss work. I go, but you're worth it to me. I mean, you're worth it. I'll take the time off of work so that you can earn this. I go, but after I'm done with my part, you have to continue reading. You have to continue staying on these sites. You know, you have to keep on learning, because if you don't learn, they can take that away from you. You know, but this is something, so you're not getting a free one. You know, you're earning this. You know, so that gave him a sense of accountability, and he was responsible. And one day he dropped it in the car. Dad, I dropped it. Check if I broke it. You know, so he's very charismatic, and this helped him express himself. His self-esteem is very high now, and it's, I believe, due to the education that he has and the support group that he has. It wouldn't have been done without.
One of the interesting things that's happened is, you know, we talk a lot about the impact that it's had, the direct impact on kids, but it's had this really interesting impact on our staff as well. So we're fortunate, we have a large faculty with a parent or a family liaison and also a student advisor as well, who are now working with first grade students on this particular program, pushing into the classroom and pulling students out to work in small groups during independent reading time. So that's been really nice as far as the interpersonal relationship skills across the staff. The other thing is, you know, we talk about this following parents up from grade level to grade level, and I think that that's really important. But we have a number of families who have a student in first grade and a sibling in pre-K. And we had a couple of pre-K parents actually come over and say, you know, we could use this over in pre-K. And so we used our site enhancement funds and bought iPads for each of the pre-K classes as well, which has been really interesting. And we figure, you know, the sooner we can get parents engaged in using technology to support reading at home and reading at school, the better. And there's been a lot of excitement on campus around it. I think that one of the most important things a principal can do is orchestrate the community around the instructional program. And this has been a really great way to do that. Kids and parents alike get really excited about technology. It's one thing to pick up a book, it's another thing to read something really cool on an iPad, which is kind of the talk of the town now. And so it's had this really remarkable impact in creating this culture of conversation.
It's a pilot, we've said this a number of times. And Justin in Startup Education really took a chance about saying, can we really make this work? Really community-based organizations, the school district, parents, is this really going to work? I think that while we haven't reached nirvana, we've gone pretty darn close. Because you've heard the passion, when you have parents saying we want to follow grade to grade, that's really good. And I think that's really powerful for us. My concern always becomes, as a systems leader, that we make promises to our community and then don't fulfill our community. So I'm going to hold us all accountable for saying, how do we make sure that not only does this continue next year, but we start growing to scale as we go forward. And I also want to thank, I think you cannot, and I know they don't like to be thanked in public, but you can't thank enough Mark and Priscilla for their investment in the very city that they're going to call home. I think this is incredibly important to plant those seeds here in San Francisco about making